Hey everybody, welcome to Mel's Makeup Lounge. My name is Mel, which means that you are in the Makeup Lounge, and today we are trying the Latte look. Yes, Latte makeup. So stick around and we'll try and make our face look like a delicious morning drink, because that's what we're doing now, I guess. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are, well, whatever time of day it is, I hope you're having a wonderful day. This morning I am off of work. Yes, okay, we like that. We're happy about this. I woke up this morning, I checked my Instagram, and my feed was popping off with this latte makeup look trend thing. I'm not an in the know girly, okay? I'm not, whatever it is, I'm not on it, okay? So this was like complete news to me, this whole like latte trend. And I started looking through a lot of the looks, and they're beautiful, do not get me wrong, but it just kind of seemed like a very bronzy makeup look, like a bronzy glam. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like an even more glam version of that like viral filter look. Remember that like TikTok viral filter? Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a very bronzy version of that. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I think we're still gonna put together a really pretty look. Also, if I'm wrong, if there's like something special about this look that makes it latte, then tell me. Help me be in the know girly. Help me help you. With that being said, let's just get right into the look. I'm gonna use some e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer right in the center of my face where I get the driest, and it just gives me this beautiful lit from within glow. Taking the Makeup by Mario Master Set and Prep Eye Primer, I'm gonna use sort of like the darker color corrector first, like underneath my eye where my where my dark circles are the worst, and then I'm going to place the lighter color all over my eyelid, and then I'm also going to use that lighter color underneath my eyes as well. So everything is going to be like the same tone, and it's just going to create this beautiful, like almost like a canvas on my eyes. I'm gonna start applying my foundation. I kind of like made this Frankenstein foundation using a bunch of different products. And I initially started by using a sponge, but then I decided, like a flat sponge, but then I decided that I wanted to use a damp beauty blender sponge. I'm just going to spot correct some areas of redness here, and then I'm going to use the same brush to get right up into the corners of my eye. I really like to sort of pack on color very precisely, and then I'll go back and I'll use my sponge to blend larger areas. I'm going to take that concealer down the sides of my nose This is going to eventually be part of my nose contour. I kind of just like to have the sides of my nose a little bit lighter so that when I do add the deeper contour, it really pops. Just going to gently buff that in. Now I'm going to add some extra concealer to the high points of my face. I also like to do some right under my nose because that's an area where I get a lot of really ugly redness. I'm going to dust on a little bit of powder underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to tap in some powder onto my eyelids. And then I'm just going to use that brush again with no additional powder to just sort of blend everything together. I'm going to take more of a cool toned contour into the hollows of my cheeks. I think a lot of what makes this look work is using sort of the same shades, but playing off like cools and warms of the same shade. So this is sort of a cooler toned contour. I'm also going to take this down the sides of my nose as well. And I'm even going to extend my nose contour like up towards my eyebrows. My nose is actually strangely bent, but you can only see it from certain angles, which is my weird fact of the day. Then I'm going to just blend out that nose contour a little bit with a fluffy brush that has no product. I'm going to take a completely dry brush and just buff in that contour. Something I really love doing is alternating between brushes that have product and dry brushes. I do this with my face and I do this with my eyeshadow. I do this with my lips. I love it. Next, I'm going to apply a warmer contour. Again, it's sort of like a similar shade, but this one is warm toned as opposed to the cool toned. So actually this is more like a bronzer and not a contour. Next, I'm going to go back in with that damp sponge, and this is just going to help me buff everything together and give my face like a really seamless look. I'm going to spray my, what the hell is this called? This is not a brush. My sponge with some setting spray, and this is going to set everything and also keep everything looking nice and blended and airbrushed. I'm going to start the eye look by packing on this sort of light brown right in the crease of my eye. And I'm going to go back and forth between packing the color on and then gently buffing it out. I don't want to take this too high up yet. This is going to be a very smoky look, so I'm actually going to need a lot of lid space to blend out some of my deeper browns. I just want to give a nice wash of this like warm light brown. The key to a seamless blend is to gradually build up the intensity. So I'm going to go back in, pack on a little bit more color, and then blend it out again. I'm also going to start doing some blending with a dry, fluffy brush that has no product on it whatsoever. Again, I just love going back and forth between product and no product. I don't know why, it just seems to work for me. We're now going to go in with a deep, cool toned brown, and I'm going to start patting that onto the lid, but I want to stop a little bit short of the crease. In order to do this without having it look patchy, I basically pat and then gently buff. So you'll see me going back and forth between patting motions and gentle buffing motions. Here's me patting it in, and then I can start buffing once I have that color down. I'm also going to make sure that I'm beginning to drag this out, like sort of creating a wing. And in order to get the intensity that I want, I'm going to be going in multiple times into that cool brown just to get all of the color down and make sure that everything is blended out. I'm also going to start by stamping that onto the lower lash line. And once it's stamped and I feel that I have the intensity of the color that I want, I'm going to gently buff that out. I'm really going to take my time with this to make sure that it's not patchy and it's nicely blended and it's very smoky and beautiful, and yeah, don't rush with your blending. Now I'm going to take a deep warm brown and I'm going to pack that into the crease and blend it out. So basically we have the deep cool brown on the lid, we have the light warm brown on the crease and up, and to sort of create a bridge between the two, I'm using a deep warm. So it's like we have deep cool, deep warm, and then light warm. That's sort of like the gradient that we're going for here. Remember how I said this look was going to be really smoky and we needed a lot of lid space? This is why. Just like before, I'm going to go back into that deep warm brown and just gradually build up the intensity and then buff it out. And then by taking that same blending brush on the lower lash line, I'm basically smoking the lower lid out without adding any additional product. I'm going to take a black shadow and just basically tight line the upper lash line with it. And I'm also going to make sure that I drag it out of the corner a little bit just to deepen up that wing. And the reason that I'm only doing this on the top and not the bottom is because this is already a very dark look to begin with, and sometimes I feel like when I put black on my lower lash line, it just drags my eyes down. Next, I'm going to be taking a color that is almost exactly my skin tone, and I'm going to be basically creating a transition between the brown shadows and my skin. And this is sort of my key to getting a perfectly airbrushed blend. You can't even see the shade because it's so close to my skin tone. It almost looks like I'm just using a dry brush, but it's exactly my skin tone, and it just creates this perfect, I don't know, it looks like everything is airbrushed. See what I mean? It's almost like I have a filter on or something. Next, I'm going to place this shimmer from Hourglass Cosmetics right in the inner corner of the eye. and I'm going to drag it up into the eyebrow. And then I'm also going to put some of this shimmer right underneath the eyebrow itself. I'm also going to take a brown shimmer. This is from Patrick Ta, and it just gives me a little bit of extra dimension on that brown. I'm just going to do one final blend to make sure those shimmer shades are incorporated well into the rest of the look. And we'll make sure the lower lid is blended into the upper lid. I also have a little bit of fallout, so what I like to do is gently scrape that away with a dry spoolie and then just take my foundation sponge and sort of blend it out. And you'll see it like totally gets rid of everything without messing up your look. I'm going to tight line the upper and lower water lines with some brown liner. And next I'm going to work on my brows. What I do for my brows is first I brush them forwards just so I can like see all of the bare areas. And then I take a brow pencil and fill that in. I'll alternate between the pencil and the spoolie just to make sure that everything is very nicely blended. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of a brow pen. I think when you do the brow pen on top of the brow pencil, I think it just adds a little bit of extra dimension. You can really get those tiny hair-like strokes. And I'm going to finish everything up with a little bit of clear setting gel. Use a lash curler. Seriously, truly and genuinely, it really does make a difference. I'm going to teach y'all a mascara trick that I recently discovered, and it's like amazing. So I'm going to start by doing a couple coats of waterproof mascara. I'm just going to take that at the base of the lashes and drag that upwards. By the way, I learned this trick from Erin Parsons. She is absolutely amazing. So after I've applied my second coat of the waterproof mascara, what I'm gonna do is take one of those like fiber extension mascaras. This one is from MAC, and I'm just going to put that right over top the waterproof mascara, and it just adds this layer of like additional fibers, and it just gives the eyes like that much more oomph. We're gonna go for a nude lip, of course, to match our latte theme. And by the way, it's kind of difficult to do your liner when you have a lip ring. I'm gonna add a little bit of bronzing powder just for some added dimension. And I'm just placing that exactly where I placed the cream bronzer. I'm gonna be using a highlighter duo from Fenty. One side is more of like a bold, glittery side, and I'm gonna use that as a true highlighter. And then the other side is more of like a subtle shimmer, and I'm going to pat that shade on as like a luminous setting powder. We're gonna finish everything off with a little gloss. This is from Lunar Beauty, and it is my absolute favorite gloss right now. So here we go, guys, the finished look. What are we thinking? Do we like? Do we not like? Do I look like a tasty latte? I don't know if what?
Yes.
You didn't even see. You didn't even see my look yet, dummy.
I don't need you.
Anyway, guys, I really love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it is, y'all feel me on that, how it's like a little bit more of an even more glam version of that viral filter makeup, or am I just going crazy? I don't know. But this is the finished look. I hope you guys like it. I really like it. If you followed along with this tutorial, then tag me in all your pictures on social media so I can see your interpretation. As always, like, share, and subscribe. If you would, I would love that. And I really, really hope to see you in the next video. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Be kind to each other. Love you. Bye.